how's it going? It's Lee Hayward here, and I'm back in one of my favorite places. I'm in the kitchen, and I'm going to be doing one of my favorite things, and that's making something tasty to eat. So what I'll be doing in this video is showing you how to make high-protein blueberry bran muffins. And I got this recipe out of the Metabolic Cooking Cookbook that my good friend Dave Ruel just recently released. And this is actually one of the recipes that he has in the Breakfast Cookbook, page 8 to be exact. So I'm just going to briefly go over exactly what you're going to need for this recipe.
Alright, so this is the Breakfast Cooking Guide from the Metabolic Cooking Program. And in fact, there's 9 cookbooks in total, all classified on the different meal categories. So I'm just going to skim down through here. And here's the index for the Breakfast Meal Guide. And we're going to be making the Blueberry Bran Protein Muffins on page 8. So I just click on that, and it instantly brings you to page 8 of the cookbook. So I'm just going to quickly go over the ingredients that we're going to need in order to make these high-protein muffins. We're going to need 1 cup of oat bran, 1/2 cup of flax meal, 4 scoops of protein powder, and they say either vanilla or chocolate. I'm going to use chocolate flavor Iso Smooth from Blue Star Nutrition. That's just my personal favorite. We're going to need 2/3 of a cup of frozen blueberries, 1 teaspoon of stevia, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 3 egg whites, 1 teaspoon of maple extract, and 2/3 of a cup of water. And the directions are pretty straightforward. In a big mixing bowl, mix all the ingredients except for the blueberries, and then add in the blueberries. So basically just mix the dry ingredients first, then the wet ingredients. Scoop it all into a muffin pan coated with cooking spray. Bake at 350 degrees for 25 minutes. So it's pretty straightforward.
Alright, so that's an overview of what you're going to need to make the high-protein blueberry bran muffins. Now, I'm going to make a couple little substitutions of my own, just based on personal experience and based on what I have here in the kitchen. First off, you notice that in the recipe it calls for 3 egg whites. Well, I'm going to actually use whole eggs instead of the egg whites. So in place of in place of 3 egg whites, I'm going to use 2 whole eggs. That's what I'm trying to say. And the reason for that is because I find that whole eggs actually make baked goods like muffins and pancakes and things like that a little bit more fluffy and helps add a little bit more flavor. Now, of course, egg yolks are higher in fat, higher in calories, also higher in nutrients as well. So it's going to bump up the calorie content of these muffins a little bit. But if you're cool with that, then you might want to try using whole eggs as well. I'm totally cool with that. I got no problem eating a few extra calories, so I'll be using the whole eggs. Another substitution that I'm going to make is I don't have any maple extract on hand, so I'm going to use sugar-free maple syrup instead. So I'll put in a few tablespoons of this to help give it that maple taste and also adds a little bit of moisture to the recipe. So those are the 2 substitutions that I'm going to have to make here in this recipe, but I think nonetheless it'll turn out pretty good. That's one of the things you'll find when you're making recipes is you can kind of tweak them a little bit based on your personality and based on what you like and stuff like that. They don't have to be always 100% spot on. Alright, so I'm just going to mix up all the dry ingredients here into a big mixing bowl. I even got my laptop here in the kitchen with the recipe all outlined. So again, 1 cup oat bran. This is just regular oat bran that you find in the cereal section at the grocery store. There we go. 1 cup oat bran. 1/2 cup of flax meal. So I have flax meal here. And all flax meal is flax seeds that are already ground up. Now, you can grind flax seeds yourself. Like if you have a coffee grinder or even a blender, just pour in the whole flax seeds and grind them up yourself. Or you can buy them already ground, which is what I do personally. Just because it's quicker, it's easier, and I don't need the hassle with grinding them up. Alright, so that's all flaxseed meal is. Ground flax seeds. 4 scoops of protein powder. I'm going to be using chocolate Iso Smooth as my protein powder of choice. And you can use whatever brand or flavor of protein powder you like. I personally would recommend vanilla or chocolate. I wouldn't get into some of these funky flavors. Maybe banana would work as well, but you don't want to go with some crazy like fruit punch flavor protein powder or something, it might not taste the best. So again, 4 scoops of whey protein. And I like the Iso Smooth brand from Blue Star. It's a very high quality protein powder. Tastes good, mixes easy. And in addition to that, it's also cholesterol free, very low fat, very low in carbs. Okay, so we got the protein powder, 2/3 cup of frozen blueberries, a tablespoon of stevia. I'm gonna save the blueberries for after. I want to mix all the dry ingredients first. So some stevia. Got some stevia here. I'm gonna put in a spoonful of that. Just add a little bit of sweetness to our muffins. Stevia, cinnamon. How much? 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Cinnamon is really good because it helps to actually improve your insulin sensitivity, and it helps your body utilize carbohydrates better. So it's a good spice that you want to include in your foods. Like I like to put it on oatmeal, you know, obviously mix it in. If you're making pancakes or muffins or something like that, you can do that as well. But it's good to try and sneak some cinnamon into your diet whenever you can. Improve the insulin sensitivity and allow your body to utilize carbs better. Cinnamon, salt, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and I'm using sea salt. I just like the taste of sea salt better. Right, 1/4 teaspoon, there we go. Like I say, you could use regular table salt if you like, but I don't know, it's just something about sea salt. I like the taste of it better. It's got a nicer, more natural taste, I find. So that's why I like to use that. What else? Teaspoon of baking powder. There we go. And what else? Teaspoon of baking powder. Okay, that's all the dry ingredients. So I'm just going to mix all that stuff up with a spoon. Alright, got the dry ingredients all mixed up so it's consistent. Now I'm going to add in the wet ingredients, which for me, 2 eggs. Like I say, if you wanted to use the egg whites you can, but I think the 2 whole eggs are going to make this a little bit more rich, a little bit more flavorful. So I have that. Some maple syrup in place of the maple extract. And a couple tablespoonfuls of maple syrup. Only got a little bit left in the bottle. Or the remaining maple syrup you have left in the bottle. Just let it all drain out there like that. Good stuff. And this is a sugar-free maple syrup. This particular one is E.D. Smith brand, and I believe that's a Canadian brand, so you can get it in Canada. I'm not sure about the US, but there's no sugar added, so it's great for adding like oatmeal, muffins, pancakes, stuff like that. Great way to get some maple syrup flavor without the extra sugar and extra carbs. Also going to put in 2/3 of a cup of water. Mix that up. It's actually mixing up pretty good. Like I say, this is the first time I've made this recipe, so it's not like I'm planned or rehearsed or anything else. You're just seeing this right off the cuff here. I'm just following it straight out of the cookbook. Nice. Good stuff. And now, last but not least, I'm going to add in some frozen blueberries. Use 2/3 of a cup of blueberries. That's probably a little more than 2/3 of a cup, but hey, blueberries are good for you. I don't mind going generous with the blueberries. So I'm just going to grease them with some Pam spray. Alright, so that's done. Now I'm going to spoon in my muffin mix into my muffin pans. Alright, so I got the muffin mixture all spooned into the muffin trays. I've got the oven preheated to 350 degrees. So just let these suckers bake now for about 25 minutes. And hopefully they turn out to be a tasty, high-protein snack. So, I'm just going to wait it out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And our muffins are done. Okay, that's 25 minutes on the timer. And they have risen up pretty darn good. Kind of morphed a bit by the look of them, but when I eat them, they're going to morph anyway. Alright, so just take them out here. Lay them up. Alright. Yeah, I know. I guess that's kind of testimony to my cooking. They look a bit morphed, like some of them are kind of spewed off to the side. I guess that's where I had the blueberries mixed in there and they kind of swole up. Anyway, they look pretty good. I'm going to give those darn things a try. Still a bit hot. You should let your blueberry muffins cool. Very hot, but very tasty. And they're not dry at all, which is what I was hoping for by adding the eggs. Add a little bit more moisture. So, I don't know, I've never tried it with the egg whites, might still turn out good there. But the way that I made them, really good, really tasty. And I'm giving it a thumbs up. Like I said, I'm going to wait till they cool a bit because they're still a little bit too hot to eat right now. But I think this is going to be a nice, tasty, high-protein snack. So give this recipe a try. Like I say, it's on page 8 of the Breakfast Cooking Cookbook in the Metabolic Cooking Program. And I have the link where you can pick that up right below this video clip. So give it a try, and then leave me a comment below this video and let me know how you like it. Take care.